I hope you can hear me through the rain in my fish tank, but I just wanted to share a really quick message with you all as it pertains to my last video about, well, my last video wasn't about time travel, but I did mention a metaphorical example about time travel. But when you're looking back on the past and you are kind of beating yourself up about what you did, like when you get into a situation and you have a realization about it and you feel like you're too far gone, like there's no way you can get out of where you are, if you're feeling stuck and you just have to sit there, when you're going back in the past and wondering, how did I get here, and beating yourself up like, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that, what I want you to think about in terms of like the time travel is when you're going through moments of like pain, where you're taking it out on yourself, or you're dealing with shame or projection, or a lack of faith, a lack of self-faith. I really want you to think of it in terms of this metaphor of time travel. Think of that in terms of future you being in the same situation that you're currently upset about, trying to go over ways of how did I get here, right? And that's you being really hard on yourself. So when you're in the present moment and you're looking back at a situation, you're thinking, I should have did this, I should have did that, or I was so this and I was so that, and being angry at yourself, with this metaphor of time travel, try giving yourself a little bit of grace. Try reminding yourself that you, one, did the best you could with what you had, and that a lot of the times, especially when we are talking about getting external validation, or you're trying to protect yourself from an external person who is, wants you to act in a certain way for their comfortability and their ease, and it makes your life really hard. I want you to say to yourself that there is nothing you could have done that would have changed the outcome, because it's not about you. You could have been perfect, and you probably were. And that does not change anything, because it's not about you. When someone else is making you feel less than, when someone else is making you feel like there's something wrong with you, there's not anything wrong with you. You're not less than. It's the other person projecting onto you. And that's another conversation for another time. I'm trying to get in the habit of remembering that I'm actually not responsible for other people's trauma, and trying to help them through it and be, I guess, empathetic about it. But that's not about you is the point. If someone is making you feel like you don't have any self-worth, like you don't matter, just take it with a grain of salt. Just be like, that person is really hurting and they want me to be hurting too, and I'm not going to. And in that moment, when you are having grace with your past self and you're releasing the blame of how you got to where you are, because I think another thing people have a really hard time coming to terms with is acknowledging and admitting that someone that they're really close to may have trapped them, may have lured them, may be controlling, or whatever the situation is, that has nothing to do with your strength. That doesn't mean that you're a weak person or that you're stupid. And I think when we talk about women specifically, that's something that a lot of people say, is you let yourself get into this situation and you should have done this and you should have done that. But at the end of the day, people who want control over someone's life are going to do it by any means necessary. And sometimes that means pretending to be the good guy for however long. And so you're not stupid. Maybe you made a mistake, but that's okay. But you're not stupid and you're not weak for recognizing that you're not where you want to be, that you're with someone, or you're submerged in a group, or you're at a job or wherever where you're not happy, and the people around you have commodified, maybe even, or taken control of your happiness, your freedom, and your agency. And so when you are in those moments where you're really struggling with that, and you're looking back at the beginning or the middle or wherever, remember, one, that you're not at the end. But when you're looking back at the middle or the beginning, have grace with yourself and remind yourself that there's nothing that you could have done that would have appeased someone with expectations that are through a roof, because whoever in their life never showed up for them. And through that process of having grace with yourself, when you are reliving those moments, again, with the metaphor of time travel, when you're feeling really hard on yourself, feeling that future you be hard on you, when you have that realization of, oh, it's actually not me, you kind of have this subconscious forward movement of forgiving yourself and not taking blame for things that you didn't do. And that subconsciously leads you to live your life differently. It leads you to make choices in your best interest. And think about it as in through that coaching of yourself, instead of you being hard on past you, having grace with past you or current you, through this time travel metaphor, your life is just going to play out differently. You're going to make different decisions. You're going to make decisions that are in your best interest. And eventually here, present you, again, this is a metaphor, it just becomes a lot easier to deal with stuff. It just becomes a lot easier to act in your own best interest. So I want you to remember that if you are being really hard on yourself about how you acted in the past, it doesn't matter how you would have acted. People were going to react that way to you anyway. That's a really, really, really hard realization to come to recognize that people weren't acting in their best interest. They weren't trying to help you through your issue. They were trying to rush through whatever your dilemma was, whatever problem you were having, whatever chapter of life you were in, whatever issue that you were having, so that the focus could get back to them. And when you recognize that there's nothing you could have done to undo someone else's narcissism, to undo someone else's selfishness, it's just a lot easier to move on and forgive yourself. And that is a really important part of this life, forgiving yourself. So I just wanted to share that with you, the importance of forgiving yourself, the importance of recognizing that there's no real such thing as perfect, and that you have to do things that make sense to you, that feel good to you. Yes, use your discernment, but also don't let people control you. Don't let what other people want control your life and control the outcome. So I just thought I'd share that with you. If it didn't make sense, maybe it will one day. And yeah, I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. And I'm probably going to post this tomorrow, but I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday, and I will see you very soon. Just wanted to share that real quick, okay? So yeah, see ya.